Hello and welcome to Scary Movie and a Sandwich, a show all about comfort foods and horror movies. I'm your host, Artem Yatsanov. On every episode of Scary Movie and a Sandwich, my guests and I pair a perfect sandwich with a carefully curated horror film, and together we dive deep and digest and dissect the hidden layers and hidden meanings of both the sandwich and the movie. Our show is recorded at Keyframe Studios in sunny Hollywood, California, and is produced by Craig Lewis. Our show is edited by Zoe Hellings. Zoe Hellings is a filmmaker to watch, working out of Los Angeles, California. And you can follow Zoe's work at zoe.hellings on YouTube and Instagram. Our horror synopsis correspondent is, as always, the intrepid Antonia Lassar. You can follow Antonia's work at Antonia Lassar on Instagram and TikTok, as well as on her podcast, Yenta Pod. And lastly, our original artwork comes from our master of visuals, Luther Thompson. You can follow Luther's work at Tats Thompson on Instagram. We're so excited to have you with us on Scary Movie and a Sandwich, a show for anyone who's ever been afraid or hungry. Enjoy.
A lot of people are like, I hate horror. I'm like, no, you don't. You haven't found your genre or subgenre. Because it's like saying I hate pizza. Like, yes, you might not love Domino's. You might not love, sorry Domino's or Little Caesars, you know, whatever. It's like, but like you haven't had like artisanal, like good pizza.
Like 7-Eleven pizza.
Ooh, wow.
I love 7-Eleven pizza.
Okay, see?
Sorry,
that's what I'm saying. That's your subgenre,
that's
right?
Subgenre.
That's your like. I like this is the, and everyone has their bad pizza. Like, you know, everyone has their thing. Same with horror, right? You have to find the things that you like. I'm like, oh, I could probably find something for you. I would just want to sit down with someone, find their other interest, and see where they intersect, and give them something.
Welcome to Scary Movie and a Sandwich. This is a show where we talk about scary movies and we eat tasty foods. I'm your host, Artem. We are joined in the studio by the Terry Gamble.
That's right. It's the because I out SEO'd the other Terry Gamble, who's an author. I'm also a writer, but not in the same genre.
Yeah. So this is the Terry Gamble and the other one is the other Terry Gamble.
Yes.
Well, this Terry Gamble, the Terry Gamble, is an actor, a writer, a podcaster, a scream queen. You might have seen their performances on hit TV shows like Mrs. Davis, Dollface, Modern Family. Heard of it? Also, as well as Superstore and tons of commercials, films. Teri Gamble has an outstanding podcast that they have been running with their co-host Julia Marchese, the horror movie survival guide, for
almost 8 years now.
An impressive amount of time. Yeah, the catalog is hundreds of episodes deep. You can also see Julia and Terry at the GARF, the George A. Romero Foundation, talking Horror X, where they talk with women and female and femme presenting and femme horror makers.
Yeah, creators.
So Terry, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, Artem. This is such a delight.
I'm honored.
I've been freaking out, geeking out about whatever sandwich you're going to give me today. I don't know. I know that's not yet, but I'm just so excited.
We're so close
to talk movie with you and eat with you.
So let's talk about what we're really here for today.
Yes,
Terry, you brought us a delight.
I brought one of my favorites. So Julia, my Marchese, my podcast co-host, and I from Horror Movie Survival Guide are known for diving into a subgenre in horror, and this is something that me and Julia both just are obsessed with. It is the lesbian vampire horror subgenre. It is delightful. It is beautiful. We've tried to find the male counterpart version of it. They don't exist. They're not good. They did not go in like the art house 70s.
Oh, and they really went in. It is a vast catalog.
It's huge. And then I always feel like we found more. And I'm like, oh my God. And then there's stuff that's from like the early aughts. And then just like that really kind of dive back in. And it's also beautiful. So it's a joy of ours. So there's so many that we've watched, that we've covered. Every year we do a round of them. You know, like we'll do like 4 in a row basically every year.
Yes.
And so I was, watching Tubi, as I do often, because I watch a lot of really terrible things.
Tubi's got kind of a big catalog.
They literally own everything.
So
it's
random.
vast. Like I have all the seasons of Kids in the Hall, Monty Python. They have all kinds of stuff on there that are like I also love in like the comedy realm. They also have a lot of lesbian vampire movies on the platform as well. This one was popped up to me because the algorithm loves to feed me what I like, obviously. This movie was served up to me and I watched like maybe 10 minutes of it. And the first 10 minutes, I didn't realize, watching it again to talk with you again, I was like, first 20 minutes is just drum beats. Like there's no dialogue. I was like, wow.
It's drum beats, undulating
undulations,
bodies,
and naked ladies. And I was like, wow. No wonder I was like, hey, I paused it and I was like, I'm going to make Julia watch this with
I got to
me.
come back to this.
Yeah, I'm recommending this for our next round because we're always looking for new things to add to the show. So it was one of those ones that I was like, oh, I felt like it found me. And it did.
And so if people want to find it, you specifically need to search for...
You need to search for The Devil's Plaything is what it's listed under on IMDb. But it's actually called, originally, it's Vampire Ecstasy, because that's the title card in the freaking movie. Yep. Joseph Sarnon, his wife did the costumes, which I love. His 17-year junior wife did the costumes.
Wow, okay. Well, how about that?
She worked on a bunch of stuff with him. He's an American director, but he worked mostly in Europe. Doing dirty movies. He actually directed Deep Throat too.
No way.
Yes.
Okay.
So he's got really some creds.
Tracks.
And he directed over 75 movies, I think, at least. So he has a lot of stuff, like a bunch of them were like this. But this is probably in his sweet spot era. This mid-70s era was when he was probably making the stuff that he's most notable for. There's been like documentaries on him and retrospectives and stuff subsequently later on in life when people were like, actually, these were underrated. Like, these are like these awesome gems. He's known for like those long shots like he has. You're like, this cut is going. It's still going.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I've seen some reviews, like some guy was like reviewing it and he like gave it like a 1.5 star out of 5. And I was like, this movie wasn't for you. He said it wasn't hot. And I was like,
okay.
Sir.
This is amazing. Okay.
Do you not like titties? Like, what is your problem?
So this is a great segue actually, because the sandwich that I'm surprising Teri and the producer Craig here with is also, it is I needed to source to make sure that at least some of the ingredients are going to track good.
Yeah.
But it is also an acquired taste, and it is a little flavor of the old world of Eastern Europe. Okay, yes. I'm Ukrainian, so this really tracks. Also, it is Easter Sunday.
Yeah. And
I thought, Easter Sunday, we're talking about vampires.
Yeah.
Wow, sacrilege.
Not at all. I mean, Jesus came back from the dead. This is the day.
The sandwich that I proposed today is, I think when I think of it, I'm like, this couldn't be a more Jewish sandwich if you tried. So we've got some religious crossovers here, It
was Passover this last week.
And it was Passover this last week. So, really working a lot of cylinders. And this sandwich particularly makes me feel like this is very old world, because there are some American flavors that this doesn't really match with. Folks, today we're bringing to you from the Bagel Broker, we have a smoked whitefish garlic bagel sandwich. They were perfectly preserved in a coffin of sorts, if you will, with the vampire theme of all.
Oh my God, I'm so excited for this.
I know, me too. Well, folks, we're about to find out a lot about the sandwich. So my thought is, old world. Also, it's very messy. Sex is very messy. It's a smelly sandwich.
When it's
Sex
good.
is very smelly when it's good. And it comes with some potatoes, because you got a carbo load before sex. And
also, I like the garlic option because obviously we're dealing with vampires.
Keep the vampires.
And there's definitely a whole bunch of... I forgot how insistent
the garlic is.
The garlic is in this movie.
And then it's like... So, we're about to learn a lot about the sandwich. And folks, I couldn't agree with Teri more. You got to treat yourself to really... You got to really find out, is this type of movie for you? And it's an important journey, to go on. In case you just have such a busy life that you don't have time for that, right now we have for you an all-original synopsis of
Vampire Ecstasy.
Vampire Ecstasy. Enjoy.
I think she might not hate it.
Hey there, scaries. What's up? It's me, Sandwich, aka Antonia. You know me. I give the synopses. I hate horror movies. I don't watch any horror movies, but I tell you what they're about because, God, I'm so nice. However, the movie that we are talking about today, Vampire Ecstasy, in fact, I have watched. Why? Because Artem pitched it to our neighbor movie night and we said yes. And after doing this, he has lost his privileges to pitch movies at neighbor movie night. Let me tell you about this movie. It was so bad. I wouldn't call it a horror movie. First of all, there's nothing about this movie that feels like it's trying to scare me. I guess it's technically in the genre because they're vampires, but Twilight also has vampires and it's not in the horror genre. So for this movie, I want you to envision a full-length porn about vampires. You can sort of imagine the scripted narrative arc that you would fit into a 60-minute porn. Now I want you to envision something with even less narrative and writing skill than that porn. That is what we're watching. I have legitimately seen porns that are better written than this movie. I'm going to tell you the plot, but also it really doesn't matter. So here's what happens. The setting is we're in this like house in the woods. At this house, there's a housekeeper and like servants. They're all vampires. How do we know they're vampires? Because they do what vampires obviously do, which is cover themselves in paint, put on sexy little skirts, and in their basement, they dance to this sort of arrhythmic drumming. They dance with about the same skill as a beginner belly dancing class's class recital. It's so amateur. It's so deeply not sexy, but they will do about 2 full minutes of dancing every 10 minutes in this movie. Now, in between are glimpses of Miss Rachel's belly dancing group. We meet the characters. They're these 2 ladies who've like been summoned to the house. We discover that one of them, the brunette, is like the descendant of some vampire queen who's dead. Then there's another brother sister who are driving in the area who happen to crash their car on this rainy night and they need a place to stay. It's very life before cell phones. Turns out that the sister of this brother-sister duo is like a vampireologist. She's like an academic who studies like the occult. And then there's another random hot blonde lady who like, I don't know, it's completely unclear why she's there. She's just there. Anyway, the brunette like gets seduced to becoming the new body of the old vampire queen. At some point in this movie, everybody has sex with everybody. It's just constant. It doesn't make sense. You're seeing one scene and then we cut over to somewhere else and everyone's having sex. One of the specific blondes, the one who came with the brunette friend who becomes a vampire queen, she is kind of like the horniest of them all. There's like moments when it feels like the brother and sister are like gonna hook up, and that's like really uncomfortable. Then basically everyone becomes a vampire. The brunette becomes the vampire queen. Everyone except the sister of the brother-sister duo. Remember the vampireologist. She doesn't become a vampire, and in this climactic scene, she stakes through the heart the vampire queen. Vampire queen dies. All of the people who work at the house are released from the vampire queen's spell. And then they thank her and they're like, thank you, we're free. But in that tone of voice, like they don't really care. And then they just sort of wander away. And you're like, wait a second, like what? It's the most half-baked full-length movie I've ever seen. And that includes like plays written by the 5th grade class that I was teaching drama for. Here are some other horrible things about it. The like really horny blonde, we learned afterwards, is 16 when she's shooting this movie, which is extremely explicit. And I actually think that there was penetration happening in some of these scenes. And that is so bad. I can't emphasize it enough. I don't think you should watch it. I do think you should actually watch the trailer because you'll understand everything you need to know about the movie in the trailer, which is a delightful 60 seconds. That's literally all you need of this content. Okay, that's my review. I hate horror movies and I hate this movie, but I love you.
Whoa, okay. Nailed it.
Incredible,
wow.
Incredible work.
All of the above. Can you believe it? Wow, Antonia really went there. Thank you. So on this smoked whitefish sandwich, we've got the smoked whitefish spread. We've got onions, tomato, cucumber, little lettuce, and capers for a little zing.
I love a caper.
But you see what I'm saying? These are not American flavors. Just saying.
No, but I love that.
Yeah, I love that too. Yeah, let's bite in. Okay.
I'm at pickle first. Is this the ASMR show for people who like to hear people eat? Because
there's a little ASMR that happens here. You know.
I love this. Jesus will love this.
It's juicy, but it's also hearty. It's not like, you know, sometimes you get tuna salad and it's like a little wet. This one, it has a consistent.
This is so nice.
The smoky flavor is so nice.
That's
and
what
rich.
it is. And it's not overly salty. Much delight.
This is kind of like what we do with the show here. It's kind of an excuse for us just to eat sandwiches and call it art.
But it is. I think eating in America right now is revolutionary.
Really? Wow. Okay, wait.
Well, the semi-glutide like culture of like minimizing yourself and not showing yourself consuming food, but consuming everything else is striking to me.
So I think it's a great lead into the first thing I want to kind of talk about on their tasty chats. So let's dive in. Subgenres of subgenres of subgenres of subgenres. Food, vampires, right? Pleasure, sustenance, this whole like interesting thing. This movie has subgenres and subgenres.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So what subgenres are we working with here? We've got vampires.
We've got hard vampire.
Yep.
Yeah. We've also got like a vibe of like cult because the way she's running it, the way the old witch, and then they call her a witch as well, like in a lot of things, so she's like a conjurer. So we've got witch, we've got vampire, we've got sexploitation, clearly.
Oh, yeah. Big time. Big time.
We've also got like art house.
Yeah.
It's solidly independent art house. And you've also got incest.
Which I feel
unfortunately.
like the subgenre, the taboo subgenre kind of pops in here.
Throwing a lot of taboos in there.
There's also just like the general vibe of like the folk horror of like,
Yeah.
what are those weird folks up to over there? You know, there's like this sort of outsider community thing.
Yeah, because it's out in this mountain that's, it is far away, reclusive.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's a little bit of that. I think it's really the folk thing too, because it's also reminded me, watching it actually, I think maybe because it was suggested to me around the same time, but Hereditary.
Okay, yeah.
Not that it's that, but it's like the inevitable
Yeah.
like of life, or like religious rites that are already set in motion from hundreds of years ago that you have nothing to do with, that have to be fulfilled.
Yes, that's interesting. Right, exactly.
It's
right.
still got that thing where you're like, oh, no matter what you do,
And
your car was going to break down by this place anyway. It's got that like, the beginning of Rocky Horror where it's like, oops, it broke down. It's like, is it an accident? No. Then bitches put that shit in, in the road, and that's why you're here.
Yeah.
Again, with this brother and sister that got stuck out there.
Sure.
It's because of a car accident or whatever,
I love it when
too.
a plot device has to be justified through like layers and layers of lore,
Yeah.
Well, there's, I guess, the gothic horror thing is also there because it's in a castle and it's all about this like olden time, blah, blah, blah. Let's talk about how this movie... What's scary about this movie? What would somebody find shocking about this movie?
I think, honestly, I forget, and each time I'm always like, oh, yeah, the incest is really...
It's
upsetting.
It's upsetting. And so casual, too.
I think that's probably the most upsetting thing about it.
They smooch each other on the lips like no big deal. And I'm like, is this like you say hello to somebody... Is it a German thing that they're kissing each other on the lips? But then it's like...
Also... Because this production
in Ukrainian culture, you do that.
Yeah.
Men kiss each other on the lips is like a hello.
all the time, right?
Probably it's like a less popular thing now because I think there's a Western sort of like, hey.
Well, also the homophobia that has seeped into like Eastern Europe is very strong now too.
But when I see my dad kiss him on the lips,
yeah,
I know it sounds wild, but smooch
culture,
love you, Dad.
Culture. Oh, Papa.
But you know what I'm saying? It's like I feel like I've my American friends who see they're like, what is this? What's happening? Like, it's just culture. Like, most Middle Eastern countries you go to, like in Saudi Arabia, that's how men like greet each other.
They hold hands. Walk around like you're okay. It's okay to hold your friend's hand. We really have separated ourselves a lot here, and the individualism, the rugged American individualism, shows itself sometimes in that way. But no, I think what's shocking is that. I think also what's shocking is, like I said again, watching, I was like, oh, I forgot how it's just like a lot of drum beats. The dialogue is sparse in this particular picture show.
That's right.
It's a lot of longing glances and like
a lot
stares.
Of side eyes.
And that one witch who's like,
yeah, and then there's always like a music when she...
Those eyes. It's just, she's eye acting so hard.
Oh, man.
So I love her. Like, okay, so this is like the head witch, this lady, and she's like, the one who runs the show. She looks like she's just the housekeeper when they show up, but she's not. She is the like head bitch witch, right?
Fräulein Krog.
Yes, Fräulein. And so she's, very buttoned up all the way to like, she's very like puritanical looking. Like she's like all the way up.
The
hair
really
is just
tight
and bun in the back and just like very like, she's her body. And then when you see her in the rituals at night, when she is doing her witch thing, she's the exact opposite. Hair's down and flowing.
She's undulating.
Just like...
oh, my.
Everywhere.
Most, Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. And just wild eyes. She's
working out a lot of knots in her shoulders.
Yes.
There's just a lot going on.
So, I find her physical acting, I find her performance in this really fascinating and amazing because I feel like there's something about that person who's very buttoned up during the day. And I'm just like, I know you party probably the hardest.
Yeah, you're a freak.
Yeah, you are a freak.
I can't wait to see it. Totally.
I was like, ooh. Anyway, I was like, are you an accountant? I'm like, hi, let's talk later. You add it up. You know what I mean?
I bet you're an animal.
Yeah, honestly, you got to watch out for these people. So I feel like she's got that vibe. But the only thing that portrays her a little bit is the eyes, because her eyes are always just like...
a little like, a lot. Yeah, they're really intense. I feel like, honestly, the entire movie, I feel like she's probably the most bought in. she really feels like she's in that world.
Well, she is.
Yeah.
I mean, and she's also, I mean, she's really the one leading it because she's the one who's literally summoning everyone to do what they need to do. She calls to them in the night from her like lair down below in the home, you know, and gets them to do her bidding, right?
Yeah. Like I feel like the scariness of the film isn't. It's not a scary film per se, but I see how it could be shocking. Also, there's something interesting about it that I'm like piecing together, and I don't know the history of the context well enough, but it does seem like it's playing. The movie's playing into a trend. Like sexploitation was a trend at this time, right?
Oh yeah.
Like it's a way like you watch in the early aughts, you watch like torture porn, right? There'll be like, oh, we want to portray visceral displays.
We got
of
another
violence,
human centipede,
and then
enjoy it.
Yeah, and then we'll put a story over it, you know, more hostile, more saws, you know, like, but like the idea that the thing that's like the trend is this like visceral violence to the body, and then we'll layer the story over it.
Yeah,
this feels like it's also playing into, hey, how can we get, you know, as much nudity per capita every 30 seconds we want to see somebody naked or fucking let's put a story over it, you know what I mean? Like, and so there's something interesting about like how it's that trend itself I think must have been shocking to a certain conservative population.
I mean, it's right excuse me, in that sweet spot right after, you know, like Hair, the musical, is like 1968. So we're thinking like this is 5 years later. Yeah. So it's still shocking to people that people got naked on stage. Do you know what I mean? Though that was still like a thing. This is, you know, the Vietnam War. This is like, you know, that reaction to
bras being taken off and burned, right?
The button up. Yeah, we got the pill now. So it's like the sexual liberation. We're right in the heels of that sexual liberation. We've got key parties. We've got swingers. We've got things happening now. Do you know what I mean? Though, like in America, that he's, you know, this director is American, bringing over, but he's also dealing with the German sensibility. He's got German. He's got, you know, Yugoslavian, that a Yugoslavian castle in this. It's like, and then it's Switzerland. They got this like, a co-production with like all these different European countries. And I find it interesting. He had a series later, Joseph Sarnon, called Olga's House of Shame, which I was like, I did a deeper dive. I was like, oh, I'm going to do a deeper dive. I did take notes every time. I did study a little bit for this.
Love it.
And I was like, oh.
Olga's House
of Shame. I thought it was fascinating because I've been to a club in Berlin that's called Chantel's House of Shame. And I just thought it was like a random thing. But I was like, is this named kind of, was that a thing? Like things, people having houses of shame?
Yeah.
I was like, ooh. And Chantel's House of Shame was one of those clubs. It's Berlin, so like doesn't get going till like 3 or 4 a.m.
Yep.
I remember getting there at midnight, and I was like, "It's empty." Like people were like, "Wow!" I was like, "Oh, sorry."
You're early.
Berliners party. Yeah. I don't know if you've ever been, Craig. Have you been yet? Highly recommend it.
One of our neighbors recently came back and was like, "Oh yeah,
you could need a vacation after that vacation."
Yeah. But like talking about like sex, and also there's this cultural context of like, oh, we're also in this other country that maybe this is seen a particular way.
I think some stuff is not as taboo. I just remember being in the queue for the ladies' room at Chantel's House of Shame, and some girl being like, "No, you really should have your boyfriend piss on you. It'll be so nice, Teri. So good." I was like, "Okay, I just met you, lady," in the line. You know what I mean? They're like, I was like, she's
like, I want to change your life.
She's like, "Yeah, water sports for you." I was like, "Wow, okay, lady."
So sex in this movie. It's like I'm almost like kind of curious. Like, one of my questions that I sent to Teri was like, how did you feel about the horniness? Were they horny enough? Did you think they need to be hornier? Did you buy the horniness?
I bought the horniness, especially, I forget her name right now. Look at me. I'm like, I don't even know their names. So I was like, whatever. The blonde girl who's just like Helga. Thank you, Helga. Yes, Helga. Peter, Helga, are you going to stay together? Okay, I love them. Peter's the brother of Julia. I just remember that because Julia, my podcast co-host, has a brother named Peter, and she was like, this is so upsetting.
I don't like this.
Because they're the siblings. But Helga just like cannot, she's unsatiable. But that's because of our Fraulein is like made her like insatiable.
She's just like horny
the whole movie, and she's like, I can't stop. Make it stop. How do you make it stop?
Like, she's gonna consume my body.
Yes,
the demons.
She's destroying me, and it's so hot.
Right.
Because she like goes through everybody in the movie, and all the other witches in the coven basically are like just standing. I forgot how much they're just standing there and just casting spells.
Yeah.
In the corner with their like crazy black dresses and like their pulled back hair, and they're just like, I just love the, like, again, the contrast of them by night versus by day.
Yes.
And
Also, I love when they cast spells, you hear the little music, but then there's a couple of scenes where somebody's standing outside of a room and like the music's a little bit distant. They're like, oh, the music actually is playing in the world.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
I know, in the soundscape, I was really taken aback by the soundscape watching this again too. I was like, oh, okay, between the drums, because I was like, oh, and then there's this like sound, like that's pretty constant. But then I was like, oh, is this like a problem with the print? I was like, for a moment, and then I was like, wait, no, this is intentional. Because sometimes it's start quiet when, like, you know, they're actually like not being summoned by anything or not being pulled by something. So anytime they're being forced or pushed or pulled by something, you hear the
that's right. When they're being compelled by not of their own volition.
There's a force that you hear, like, that's around. So I was like, ooh, sound on this, like, is really, you know, really plays a role in this as well.
Yeah, the way it was made, you know, I kind of want to get to that in a second, but about the sex.
Yeah.
Well, so like,
I love this. We're gonna go back to sex.
My wife was like, is this porn? And I'm like, is it porn? It's like, I guess you could say it's softcore porn, but then I was like, it's interesting how it's like we have a different language for those things now. We have these categories, right? And then it made me kind of think about sex in movies in general, as well as nudity. And I'm like, oh, like I had a question for you,
like European versus American.
Sure, too. But also with that, I was like, do you have some good shout outs where like sex is deployed well, in this movie, but also just like in other movies, like good examples of. Because here,
I think it's beautiful in this movie. I think they do a really nice job of not. It doesn't ever feel gratuitous to me, which is why I'm just like, oh, it's just a movie. And then I was like, oh, there's a lot more sex in this, and like more graphic than I remember. But also there are versions of this that has some of the deleted like shots, depending on which edit you're watching of this movie. And so there's the part where she's pleasuring herself with a candle that I literally was like, oh. They showed more of that than like my little brain held on to, even though I've seen this movie multiple times. Maybe I'm not getting to this scene far enough because this is further in the movie. I don't get that far. I do put it on to go to sleep, you know. It's really beautiful. I think even the scene with her and one of her soon to be minion, like Helga, like up like with the horse and like the hay, like the two girls in the hay. I think it's really beautifully shot. There are these long, like kind of sweeping, you know, like wraparound moments. It feels very like gentle, which is why I was like, why does this guy not find it hot? I was like, oh, it's not like vigorous, or like there's not enough men for him to enjoy it. I don't know. Like, the guy who said it wasn't, who like gave it, like, I'm just fascinated by that.
I also think it's funny these days, like it's not gratuitous. I'm like, well, there's a lot of like serious tit groping.
Yeah, but that does like, also to me,
kneading dough, but well, maybe it's me being like, oh my god, that's so wow.
Well, that's how she gets them worked up. That's like part of the ritual. Is she's like, because it's like part of it's like this like birthing of a vampire, so to speak. So it's like, it feels like part of it feels like a fertility thing, because they're like, we're gonna need a couple of guys here and there, right? They don't need a lot of guys. They just need a couple of them to like make sure that this bloodline continues on. That's the only use they have for him.
About the getting them kind of Okay, so like this is the sex part of this that I think is fascinating. They have to be turned on. Yeah. In fact, like the hornier the better. Yeah. She needs to drink the blood of someone who is, I think, like literally, like either is coming right now or just came. Like somebody who's like at a peak of their like sexual power.
For the biggest power.
The biggest power, right? Yeah. And so that's why everybody's constantly being turned on. Yeah. They're constantly fucking. And then she doesn't like, the Baroness doesn't just like sort of show up right away. She like waits until they're all really, really horny.
She's got to come at the right time. Bum, bum, bum.
Bum, bum. There's a line in this movie that I was like, this is poetry. So it goes something... Oh, yeah, sometimes, I'm under a spell, and Helga's like, oh, spells, that seems funny. And she's like, you think spells are funny? Sometimes there's spells that make your juices flow, hot and burning, while fingers warmed in the fires of hell set your nipples on fire.
So that's what I imagine her fingers feel like on the boobs.
But do you know what I'm saying?
That's what she's doing. She's literally heating them up, warming them up.
Warmed in the fires of hell.
She's getting them hot.
Faulkner could never. Do you know what I'm saying? Okay, Langston Hughes who? Okay, you know.
No, I think those are all poetry. Amazing poets. You are so ridiculous. I'm being ridiculous. You are so ridiculous. But yeah, it's. I think it's a beautiful thing, and it's that she's like setting them alight. She's setting them. I think it feels like she's setting them free, even though they seem captive. She also seems like she's setting them free, which is the sign of a good cult leader. You feel free.
Yeah.
And excited, right? Even if you're
I'm
in
happy
this
to be
place.
here.
I'm happy to be here.
Course,
I
wouldn't
really
be
am.
here. Yeah.
It's like, no, they're real happy to be there.
Yeah. I think the terror is, what if you were horny all the time? There's no release. This is the
Yeah.
cult. This is the cult you would stay in because
You got to go find the garlic necklace to like
get
set
a release,
yourself
but then-
free.
yeah. Oh my God, the garlic nuts. Okay, so this is a great pivot too. Let's just talk about like a little bit about like, this is not a knock. It's just more of an observation. It's like the low budget of it all. Do you know what I mean?
I love if you can get something done for no money or low money.
Yeah.
So many times they give you more money and you fuck it up because you're like now I have all these things, and you overthink it, and then you like the analysis paralysis whatever sets in, and then you make it terrible.
Yeah.
And we've seen it time and time again where someone levels up
course.
and you're like, oh, you've lost everything. You lost the heart and the soul because you're not thinking creatively. The fact that Joseph wrote and directed this, he's thinking like, what do I got? I got this castle. I got these $2. We're gonna make. I got a camera. Let's go. Like
I've got exactly 3 sound effects. Let's make it work.
let's use all 3 of them in a succession.
There's so many choices in this film. The garlic cross that's like literally looks like they took a dozen garlic cloves and like threaded them together. Like it's a cross made of literal garlic.
They stuck it on an actual cross probably and just was like,
Yeah.
like,
But like
the lo-fi.
But the efforts, but still such a choice, such an effort to like to make that, Part of the thing that draws me to horror is it works on multiple levels of accessibility. Anybody with a camera can like, let's make a horror movie. Okay. But then it goes deeper, right? Because then you have these cultural moments. It's like, okay, who's this movie for? Well, hey, if you're a person who is kind of discovering their sexuality, you might be like, oh, okay.
If this movie makes you excited, well,
Right.
I'm going to tell you you're gay.
Or a vampire, or both, but you know what I'm saying?
Or
It's
at
like
least a little bit.
we suddenly have this accessibility presented in interesting ways. Like you don't have enough of a budget to make this such a huge thing that a lot of people will start to suddenly care, right? So you get to cater it to a particular audience. You also cater it to a particular flavor of thing you're trying to say. So like I thought that the low budget element of this movie is fantastic because you suddenly have so many points where I don't know, it kind of invites you in.
Adds to the accessibility, as you said.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think that is something about low budget, lo-fi horror. Like it's like I think they see the memes all the time. People being like, just feed me crappy horror. Like just feed me like the worst things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And that's all I want to see. I think that is also part of the catharsis of just like someone made this thing. Someone was so passionate.
Yes.
And was like, I'm gonna make this thing.
Just the fact that it exists, you're like, amazing.
Incredible.
Yeah, somebody from start to
Someone's
finish was
brain was like, this is what's important to me this week. Like, it's like, and we're going to get it done. And you know how hard it is to make a movie?
Well, yes, extremely hard. I mean, I talk to filmmakers all the time, and they're like, we had somebody on the pod who literally said it's like, it's a miracle that any movie gets
Literally
made.
anything. And Julia and I do our best like to respect like all filmmakers because because we know how hard it is. Even if your movie's a load of terribleness and we hate it, we're still like, kudos to that person for making the thing that they wanted to make. I studied at the Moscow Art Theater. I did some, and one of my favorite teachers there, he always said, we make an attempt.
Oh, that's so nice.
That's all we're doing. We're making an attempt whenever we're creating something. And I was just like, I love watching people make the attempt.
That's so solid. Yeah.
So
that's
I will
great.
go see anyone's theater. Like I see my friends' kids shows. Like I will go see their elementary school. I will bring them flowers. I want to see what you're attempting at any point in your life because I know you're going to have a different perspective later. I know it's going to continue to grow if you continue on. I love to nurture that. But I think everyone's just making an attempt. We're all trying to we all have some goal or objective or, some end game for it. But I love seeing it any way, shape or form. So I'm going to champion it.
Absolutely. I think this movie particularly, you can see the actors are having a good time. There's a couple of scenes in the beginning. Well, so I love that the actors are a variety of like, how seasoned are these actors?
Yeah.
Right? And you're like, well, maybe this might be the first thing you've ever done. Maybe this is the only thing you've ever done. But like, but they commit. I feel like the direction is like, the director has given them like very strong and really understandable things to hit. So we really get, these are the culty vampire ladies. These are the sort of out of their depth siblings. Here's our helpless Helga, who's so horny she
Caught
can barely breathe. But there's a couple of like in the first like 10 or 20 minutes, there's some scenes where it looks like the actors are like a second away from cracking up. And I think it's just because they're all trying to kind of get into it. But I'm like,
but I think that's
you guys
the
are having a good
underlying
time on
excitement,
set.
though,
Yeah, you're having a good time.
too.
Because there's just like a sort of like mirthfulness behind their eyes and just a little. a little like like their mouths are just a little like.
I think it's also like lesbian knowing glances. There's like a whole like genre of that like on the internet too. I feel like we're just like, this is the lesbian knowing glance. Like this is the gaze,
right?
the gay gaze, like if you will. And I feel like there's something about that in this, which is really tongue in cheek, like you said too, that just is so delightful and is so fun. And I was like, if a guy doesn't get it, that's probably why.
Yeah.
Like I get it, why he doesn't get it. It's beautiful.
And I love the staging of a lot of it. It's very theatrical. So it's just a kind of mise en scene kind of just like shot.
Yeah.
And an actor just like walks in, and another actor suddenly walks in from another person, and they stand just behind them, behind the shoulder. Oh, Fräulein Krug. And they kind of
but
like
that's
look over.
also like that time of like a cinema where like I don't know, I love 1950s cinema that's kind of like fresh off the stage. Like you could see like one of my favorite movies of all time is Auntie Mame, and like I love in the background is because she did it on stage before she did the movie, Rosalind Russell.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And so it's very clear sometimes that I was like, oh, this is literally probably the same extras, like ladies that are just standing there behind her, you know, like frozen, instead of like now you'd be like, okay, 1, 2, walk, cross.
Right now you have naturalism. Oh, you're doing something. Yeah,
something up there, so this is also
tableau.
part of that line still in between. I think that era of like really gritty 70s stuff is about to really start happening more, more so of like trying to be really real. And like I know we're still getting some of that technique, but it's even less theatrical than the Marlon Brando school of like the 50s and 60s. I feel like now we're starting to creep more into like
Yeah, the Marlon Brando school where they're all just chewing gum and smoking cigarettes and talking to their chest, but and I also love it, like
adore it. But I feel like we start getting into that more of that hyper realism, that gritty 70s, like independent cinema.
It's so
is happening around here.
I think that also is like the stuff that contributes to, again, somebody being able to kind of like really enjoy it, because you're like, oh, it's so funny that like this person's just here and suddenly this person walked in from another, and they're so close next to each other, and they're acting as if he just entered the room.
Well, I think part of you justify it with this movie too is like how much of it is of their own volition and how much is it of this witch compelling them. Right?
Yeah.
And so I feel like I watched it a lot with that eyes. I was like, oh, she's really controlling everything. And like again, like that was my hereditary like,
I love that. Yeah.
Oh, like because I was thinking about that.
But it's like that thing is it's like oh, okay, whatever the constraints of whatever the cinematic constraints, they actually married it to what's happening on the screen, and it kind of works.
That's what happens when you have like a writer director. I think he'd already done like 40 or 50 I think movies or something crazy like that before he like did this movie.
Yeah.
And so I think there's something about like when you know what you have and what's available, and you're like, well, let's just do our best with what we got here.
Yeah. Oh God, I just thought everybody in the movie is just like very memorable in a way that like I watched like a better made movie, and like I don't really care or remember.
You don't remember any of the people anymore.
I was like, the Baroness Reborn, her like sidekick is like shows up in this like business suit with this like white tie. It's like she just walked off of like a zoot suit like gangster film. Like what's going on here? Like I love these choices.
Yes.
I love like sort of like the lo-fi drawings on their bodies that like supposed to be runes, but they're just like like a blue swirl and
they're
red.
just giving Laugh-In. They're giving like 1960s, 1970s like Rona like Essence Laugh-In. It's like one of my favorite old TV shows. I watch a lot of that on Tubi as well. But it's like Goldie Hawn, like young Goldie Hawn, like but she would be painted with stuff like that too. It was the Socket Tubi girls, and they would dance like that all the time.
Wow.
And so it's like that kind of American language, like but also as ritual thrown into this, which I just think is delightful.
Fascinating. Oh, there's so many. It's like all these references that like I want to go back. I want to go back and watch this movie and be like, okay, what?
You can watch it 10 more times and you will always see something new, which is also what I like about it too.
Okay, well, you mentioned also the gay gaze, the lesbian look.
Yeah,
let's talk.
A lot of glances in this movie.
A lot of glances, and let's talk about like I think queer representation. So powerful in general, and so necessary, right? Because even nowadays, it's just hard for us to even have. We still have
like Portrait of a Lady on Fire is basically like the gaze. That whole movie is just like,
it's a lot of sweltering, burning behind the eyeballs.
It's a lot of fire.
Yeah, but this movie, I think it's one of those things where I'm like, I think somebody's seeing this and is going, oh, thank you for existing. This is doing a lot for me,
I as soon as, like I said, I probably 10 minutes and I texted Julia. I said, "There's a movie you need to watch." I was like, "You're gonna be so excited."
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it hits all the stuff that we love about the genre. It looks beautiful, you know, cinematography. I just love like even the castle, what it looks like. I love the title card.
Great. That font.
Do you know what I mean? That
Yeah.
font. I was like, I'm talking to a tattoo artist. I'm like, I want that font on my body. Like,
Yeah.
I want to get a tattoo.
I love it
of
if the tattoo artist was like, I know exactly what you're talking about. You'd be like,
I go to a
"Okay."
lesbian tattoo artist.
yeah.
That's why.
That's right. That's right. You're like, you
And she
get
was
it.
like, yeah, we're gonna put like a little castle and stuff next to it. Where were we at? I got lost in the sauce. Sorry.
The queer representation.
Yo,
I
yes.
mean, like, what do you think? What do you think? Like a queer person is discovering this movie. Like,
I think today,
Why would
I
they
think
seek it
it's
out?
great because as much as the powers that be, you know, in our nation and honestly around the world in a lot of places are really the backlash and the homophobia and the transphobia and all the phobias that are popping off right now. I think it's heartening to still see history and
Right.
be like, oh, people have been gay a long time. And like,
yes. Yeah.
what is that? Quinta Brunson, like,
Huge-
you know what I mean?
huge
People
point.
be gay,
Yeah.
and it's like that's still
People be gay and have been gay since
For a-
gay been gay.
for a long
You know.
time. And so I think remembering that, like, and this also, I love that this tale is like for centuries.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Though
Yeah.
it's like, this is not just like 1970, whatever, that this is happening. This is like, oh no, this is an old story and this lady's been doing this a long time. I mean, is she nefarious and is she a vampire? Yeah. Is she just wanting to suck your blood like Elizabeth Bathory? Yeah. But
also
she's also going to get you excited.
and also she's trying to get her vindication because she was executed, and we don't know if she was executed on purpose, but she was burned alive
was
by a bunch of
persecuted.
other
Yeah.
women back in her day, and we don't
Yeah.
know if it was because they were jealous or what. Like, it's presented as if like it was an unjust, and so
She's making it right.
that's right.
She is making this wrong right.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think again, I think it's heartening to see that. I love like old queer cinema. I love, you know, getting into like queer history. I have a friend who's got a book called Queer for Fear, and then that's incredible. I highly recommend that. And then a queer horror anthology book that Sean Abley just wrote as well. Got to chat with him about that at WonderCon and at Comic-Con this last year. Just incredible people. There's a lot of history out there. So as much as they're trying to take it away, there's still people writing it. There's still access to it right now.
Hell yeah.
Buy it, get it, read it. I think it's really important to maintain that because movies, you know, they may seem silly and whatnot, but I was talking just recently with some other friends on another show about how horror specifically as a genre, I think is a really good excavation of history.
Yeah.
In that moment in time too, because it's like you get the
Why
social
did
mores.
why did this hit at this time, right?
Yeah, what are people afraid about this time? And it's like, oh, people were really scared of, you know, queerness. If you're putting this in horror, you're like, this is not really scary to me now. And that also shows you where we've come from too, because sometimes you watch some old schlocky horror and you're like, why is that even scary? And it's like, oh, because people were puritanical, or because people were, you know, like the
People-
Blob or whatever, you know.
People were afraid of women empowerment, right? Like,
Correct.
Like at the tail end of the hippie.
They're like,
era.
they don't need men. The
do
women
you
power
mean?
movement. Yeah, it was
Right.
really, really striking.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, I love the excavation of that history element is, yeah, you're right. Like, especially just being reminded that it's not a new idea.
No.
And like it has been here and continues to be here. This is really powerful.
Yeah.
Do you have like 2 or 3 movies that you could like recommend as like, okay, start with Vampire Ecstasy and then
Vampiros Homos. Of
Vampiros
course.
Homos.
Or no, sorry. That's my friend's movie. It's Vampiros Lesbos. My friend's making one called Vampiros Homos in response.
Shout out. Okay.
Vampiros Lesbos is another of this era. Also really beautiful. But if you're going to start somewhere, I love one of the GOAT ones is Blood and Roses.
Oh, wow, what a title.
Vadim, who also did Barbarella and like all these other like iconic movies, but it's one of his movies. It is absolutely stunning. It's the Carmilla, which I'm probably, if you're familiar with any type of most vampire movies, Carmilla is the basis of what Bram Stoker basically did. Like if you go and excavate back history, who's copying
Yeah.
who's copying who. Carmilla is an old story.
Okay.
And it's basically similar to like kind of the Stoker kind of story of like someone being brought in and then turning the girl, all this stuff.
Oh.
They
Wait,
they
Craig,
all.
do you know about this? Carmilla.
Carmilla is like the GOAT. Like this is
I love
like
this.
this is
Wow.
like she's the blueprint for pretty much all lesbian vampires
Hell yeah.
moving forward. It's like anywho, yeah, it's a beautiful story. So there's a lot of versions of that. But this is a really great one. Vampire Lovers is also really great. But Blood and Rose is hard to find, but if you can find it, go to like your local library or try to see if you go video store, because it's not usually streaming. It's one of those ones you kind of have to go seek out. Like I went to Cinephile in Los Angeles. They had a really great copy.
Dude,
but if you can find it, I highly are you looking it up right now? Blood and Rose. It's gorgeous because it's a Vadim girl. So his girls are always like Brigitte Bardot. Like they're like coiffed, dressed, like just pretty.
It's interesting actually that you're mentioning that, because I feel like there's a certain type in modern day, and I feel like there's a certain resurgence, I think, of some of these older kind of like representations, you know.
Of course, history rhymes, right?
Right.
So the heroes arise when we need them, and so these are the heroes that we need again, and especially right now, they are gonna be coming back. I think the vampires are here.
Yeah.
Twilight ensured that vampire culture lives on.
Right, but I love that if
generation.
like you see somebody today, and I'm trying to like, you know, trying to figure out like a reference point, but like, you know, someone who's visible culture is doing some kind of a look, and you're like, well, actually, back it up.
Well, I mean, Nosferatu,
right.
And he cast 2 queer people as the female leads.
Yep.
Which I was just like, I love that.
Yep.
I was like, Lily Rose and her girlfriend. Okay, cool. And then we got Emma Corrin, who is non-binary. And I was like, oh, I see what you're doing there. But then I also watched like the 1922 Nosferatu again recently too. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, that girl, she looks gay too. Like, it's like, you watch her, I was like, she's giving trans, and I love her. And like, I love like kind of the gender bending. I mean, any vampire is gay basically, because you want to suck on everyone's neck. Like that's part of your, like you have to be a little bit.
Yeah.
Or a lot bit.
You're fluid.
You are fluid.
You know what I mean?
I'm like, yay, pansexuals, like let's go.
Yeah.
And so I really love that about the genre, and that we get to be in power.
Yeah. And I love this movie also is like one of these where we're not doing subtle. It's not a interview with a vampire. Oh, they're just roommates, you know.
They really crept out on that movie, but the TV show, if you haven't watched it,
I have not.
Honey.
Yeah.
Interview with the Vampire, the TV show, because Anne Rice's son was part of it. He's gay, and that show is horny as hell.
Hell yeah.
Highly recommend.
Okay.
And it gets into like it really goes closer to the book, and like what the I think what the letter and spirit, so to speak, were.
Yes.
And they don't have actors that are afraid to make it truly gay.
Yeah, I was listening to a book review of like just Anne Rice's work, and they were talking about how beloved she is by like the gay community, because in her books, it is very explicit.
Yeah.
It's very clear. They're in love. And it's not just like, it's not only a
But we got the 90s version, which is where we were in the 90s, because the 90s were a very repressive time. We're post-Reagan. Yep. We're still dealing with the aftermath, but we also had the Don't Ask, Don't Tell. We also had like, you know, the Defensive Marriage Act. We have all these things that are happening during the 90s that were really, really difficult. I remember I feel old right now. That's when I moved to LA in the 90s. I remember like, you know, I went to UCLA in my undergrad then, and like,
LA's been changed forever. Ever since.
You're right. But it was a different time. I try to explain to kids, I'm like, I remember hanging out like at gay clubs, and like, but all the actors that I knew that were gay, like no one was out.
Yeah.
Like I was like, everyone was gay. Like all these people that are like out now, I was like, they were all gay. They were all there. Like I can tell you who was there. I can tell you who I met. I can tell you like all of us. Like, but it was like people didn't, you know, you didn't talk about it, and it wasn't like you didn't have like, you had tabloid culture, but you didn't have camera phones yet. So it's just like that this different kind of era and time, and so the 90s were that kind of repression.
Yeah.
So you got an interview with the vampire that's going to cut out those portions.
It's beautiful
right?
the way you're tying
but
this
now post, like people are like, oh, you know, like we really could, you can really see the evolution, and then you can also see the backlash, because that's what always happens. I think I've written about that. Like George Floyd's summer, I had some stuff written on Medium and stuff too. It's just like, I was like, there's a great opening right now. I was like, enjoy it, get excited that people are wanting to be aware of right now, but it's gonna go the other way real fast because people get scared. The powers that be that don't love that are gonna fight back, and they have. You know, they've been playing that long game as well. And so we're seeing that. We're going to see a lot of repression. We're going to see a lot of underground stuff. But I've been to underground parties before. We're going to do it again. We, you know, I remember going to parties downtown before it was cool. Before they rebuilt it, it was like, warehouse parties, whatever. Like, it's like, wow. We're still gonna make stuff happen no matter what. People are very creative and very resilient. And so that's what I learned from these ladies.
Yeah. Teri, you're amazing. You're amazing. Honestly, this is so cool. Listen, just talking to you, the way you're tying things in history, the fact that you're giving us some real like truth here, and
That's what I'm here
just
for.
the joy that you bring to everything. But this particular horror movies and just the creativity is so beautiful. Teri, so delighted with this conversation. Okay, so we are kind of running out of time.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure we have just enough time to do a very popular segment on the show called "Cast This Sandwich."
Yes, let's get into.
This is a decadent smoked whitefish sandwich.
Delicious.
You know, you can't be eating this every day. This is you got to enjoy it. For example, on an Easter Sunday.
420 Easter Sunday. What a beautiful
420. Oh my God. Wow. It's all
convergence.
aligned. The characters we're looking at.
Yeah.
Fraulein Krog.
She is absolutely your garlic bagel, even though she would not like to be the garlic.
Ooh.
She's holding it together. She's literally the one on the top and the bottom. She's topping and bottoming everybody.
Yes. Oh my God. There's nothing she can't do.
There's nothing she can't do. She's really holding it together. She's really the solid piece of this operation.
Yeah.
She is a utility player, but also I love the play of like her being a garlic and also bread, because seems like the breadwinner of this place, luring everybody in.
She's keeping it going. Yep.
But also, she has her garlic look, but she also has her like
Her hair down look.
her hair down look, her doughy look.
Yeah, the look where she's got all the mess all over her.
Yes, I think the Baroness is the fish.
Okay.
Because she's the real spice. She's the real star of the show.
Yeah. She's why we're all gathered here today.
Even though we don't get to her till after we have to go through all these other layers.
Yeah.
She's the final boss of the bite almost.
Oh, I love that.
Right?
Okay. Wait, that's right. She's the final boss. That's
Yeah,
true.
she's on the bottom of the sandwich.
Okay, then we've got
Yeah.
Dr. Malenka and her brother Malenka, Peter.
She's obviously the red onion. I mean, come on. She's the one that you're like, maybe I could do without her. Craig
This is
would
so
say.
funny. Oh my God, yeah.
Because she's the one that you need her. She is a catalyst for this and like part of the spice that kicks this off.
Yeah.
But dear God, she's annoying.
Sure. And aesthetically, she's always wearing that kind of like pink red nightie. Very red onion.
She is. You're so funny. And she's the historian of the bunch, which is why I should love her. But also she like annoys the crap out of me too.
Right.
Because she's just there to spout lore.
That's right.
She's the only one with real lines, I think, of the movie.
Which is something sometimes the red onion does, is just sort of like, you're like, when everybody, you're just like, oh, I just remembered you're here.
I could
It just
smell
reminds
you
that
though.
you're here. Yeah, I can smell.
I can
Amazing.
smell you from afar.
Yep. What about her brother Peter?
Oh my gosh.
Peter.
I think he's the lettuce.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? He's the tomato,
the
because you
tomato.
can squish him so easily.
So good.
Those girls just push him and squish him around.
Yeah. Oh, poor Peter. He's like, he really does show up being like, can somebody please like tell me what to do?
Yeah, he really does.
I can't be in charge. I'm sorry.
He cannot be trusted. And like, Helga's even like, I shall tell you what to do.
Yeah.
Like, and she seems like she's not in charge.
She's got a really funny moment where Peter's like, Helga, I think we have to leave here tomorrow. We might be in serious danger. And she goes, oh, Peter, don't be serious.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Okay.
Oh, she goes, let's not be serious. And she's like, okay. And then they go fucking
Yeah,
barn.
she's like, can we just go make love? Okay, bye.
Well, speaking of,
We love Helga.
Helga.
She's the lettuce.
She's the lettuce.
She says, let us go to this barn a lot.
Oh, yes. Teri. Oh, my God. The wordsmith is here, folks. Let us go to this barn.
Let us go here to do it.
Let us
go
go
here.
to your bedroom.
constantly
Let us
leading
go
people
to
around
Yes.
that castle to let us go.
That's true. She says, let us take this garlic cross off. We don't
Yes.
need the protection.
Why don't I take this from you?
Yeah, we've got a lot of like side players as well, because we also have like we have capers milling around. To me, the capers I think is the rest of the crew.
It's the girls in capes.
Yes.
Hello. Cape hers.
Capers. Correct. And should we say the potato salad is like the random like dude servants that are just
Yes. Like I was like,
party?
like, why are you guys even okay? I guess
What's
they
going
need
on?
things done around here sometimes. Or like someone's got to plow the field. Like it's that guy.
This guy seems like he can do it. Amazing. Yeah, pickle
Pickle. I think the pickle.
is the Gothic font.
I will take it. Honestly, it's the flourish that I want.
It's the flourish that
It's the first bite I took.
Yeah, it's the title card.
It's the title card.
Yes, Teri, we did it. We've cast this sandwich. It's
Oh,
gorgeous. Wow.
I love it. And the title card is on the IMDb just because people that's how much people love it.
It's a strong visual. Yeah.
It's red.
I will
Vampire
say,
Ecstasy.
I showed the trailer for this movie and a couple others to some folks at home, and I was like, what do you think? And they as soon as the Vampire Ecstasy, like, oh, you got to talk about this one. This one's good. I was like, this is 5 seconds. You just saw the title there. We got to do it. And I was like, all right.
That's strong.
It's strong reaction. So,
All right.
whew.
Oh, and Daughters of Darkness. I was going to recommend that. I know I recommend that was my other recommendation to you, but
I'm gonna
it's
put this all in the liner notes.
gorgeous
Yeah.
as well.
Oh, Daughters of Darkness.
It's
Okay.
also a Carmilla ripoff.
Got it. I gotta learn about this Carmela. God,
Yeah,
Teri.
look her up.
Teri, thank you for.
Yeah.
Thank you for the education. Thank you. Okay. Got some homework.
Do.
Love homework. Love some horror.
We
homework.
love it.
Yeah. Thank you for the vibes. Thank you for the just incredibly rich wealth of knowledge. Thank you for being just a generous, amazing spirit. Teri, for people who are not yet obsessed with you and who should be obsessed.
You are now, though, right? Okay, great.
Well, where can we find our new? Oh, you've got a cult of your own.
I do have a cult of my own on the internet, at the Teri Gamble in most of the places. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, not Twitter, whatever the heck it's called. Blue Sky, I'm not on Twitter anymore. And then you can also check me out at Horror Movie Survival Guide. There's over 400 plus episodes for you to go through a back catalog of me talking horror with my bestie Julia and some guests along the way. You can also check me out the last Thursday of the month. We have live episodes, but you can catch all the back catalog on YouTube at the GARF, the George A. Romero Foundation.
And if you're live in Los Angeles, Teri hosts karaoke, DJs, you're just out and about.
I need to
all
go
the
to those
time.
places, but you can check me out on the internet.
Thank you all so much for joining us for yet another episode of Scary Movie and a Sandwich. I hope you join us next time. And until then,
Stay hungry and stay scared. Ooh.